Before he's put to death, Pilate has Jesus mocked and flogged. He's taken by the soldiers to the garrison, and they strip him and they put him in a scarlet robe. He's given a crown of thorns, and a reed is put in his hand, and they bow down and pretend to worship him. "Hail the King of the Jews," the soldiers say, meaning not a single word that is coming from their mouths. As Jesus is flogged, the pain begins on his body. The Romans knew how to be cruel and vicious. And there are many depictions of this moment in cinema, so there's no need to go into details. We all know how horrific this would have been. When they're done, they return Jesus' clothes to him, and they take him away to be crucified. As Jesus is led away from the city, he is hurting and exhausted and unable to carry the very cross that he's about to be murdered on. So Simon from Cyrene is made to help him carry that cross. And he is led away outside of the city to the place called Golgotha, the place which means skull. When he reaches there, he's crucified. He's laid on the cross. He's nailed to the cross. He is raised up and left there to hang. Crucifixion is so cruel. There is no escape. It's painful and it's suffocating. And that is where they left him. While he's hanging there, the soldiers divide up Jesus' clothes and gamble for them, casting lots. They put a sign over his head saying, "This is the King of the Jews," finishing off their mockery of him. Passers-by walk past, and they mock him as well, challenging him, "Come down from where you are. If you're the Messiah, save yourself." But Jesus chose to stay there because he knew he was saving us in his sacrifice. So at 3:00 in the afternoon, the time has come for Jesus to die. His body is exhausted and broken from the beating he'd already received from the Roman soldiers. Normally crucifixion could last days, but in Jesus' case it was only hours. Suddenly a darkness comes over the whole land. A darkness that meant nobody could escape the fact of something significant was happening. It's at this time that Jesus cries out, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Words that make it sound like he's so alone, but they're actually a quote from the Psalms. He is offered some wine on a stick to try and keep him going, but it doesn't work. He cries out one more time, and then he breathes his last. As Jesus dies, the curtain in the temple is torn in two. It is torn from top to bottom. It is torn by the hands of God, not by the hands of man. The curtain was so significant because it was the curtain that separated the Holy of Holies from the rest of the world. The Holy of Holies being the place where God dwelled. And it was now open to all. God was no longer kept in one special place in the temple. God was released to the whole world, to all of us. It is at this time a strangest of moment occurs, and Matthew tells us that so many of the saints who had died rose and were seen walking around Jerusalem. It's not often a moment we reflect on. But seeing all this, one of the centurions, one of the Roman officers, realised that something truly terrible and amazing had happened. And his words were, truly this was the Son of God. He's recorded as the first man to really realise what Jesus' sacrifice had meant. So the end of the day came quite quickly. The Sabbath was fast approaching, and knowing they were unable to do anything once the Sabbath started, they quickly buried Jesus' body. He was taken away and put in the tomb of Joseph of Arimathea. Now Pilate knew and had heard the rumours about Jesus rising from the dead, and so had the high priests. So a large stone was rolled and put over the entrance to the tomb, sealing it shut. And a guard was posted on the outside to make sure that nobody interfered with Jesus' body. Jesus was locked away in that tomb, and the disciples went away, heartbroken, knowing what had happened to their rabbi. Well, I hope this retelling has been helpful for you over the past couple of videos. I've been following through Matthew's Gospel, if you've been wondering, which is why not everything that we know of the Easter story has been included. And it seems strange to finish on such a low point. But at the end of Good Friday, that's where we are. But I am so grateful and so blessed in the knowledge of what is to come on Sunday. So stay safe and be blessed. Amen.